Well, hello and welcome to the Silver Gauntlets. Welcome to a restream of WeightyWords versus FcS35. Two runners in Group 6. Both of them going into this with one match played, but with differing preconditions here. Anyway, let's see. We have WeightyWords versus FCS, and we have a stat screen that kind of shows that this, or that if you just believe in the stats, would be a little bit one-sided, considering how many head-to-head wins WeightyWords has over FCS. But FCS is a veteran of this community, has had much more races than Weighty. Also, before I forget, I'm Tobias, and I am joined by a co-commentator called KLO1313 today. KLO, how are you?
It's cold, it's wet, it's windy, and it's Monday. How are you, Tobias?
I mean, that's a big problem. The Monday thing. I mean, the other problems can be alleviated with proper cold weather gear.
That's true. But as you said, yes, there are a lot more head-to-head encounter wins from WeightyWords, but I do know that FC plays a lot of pickup races and weeklies. So that's definitely a higher number of races just in bigger groups. So maybe it's just less opportunities for head-to-head wins.
That is true. But yeah, let's not keep them waiting any longer. Let's get this race underway. The two of them are ready to go, so let's get them started. Exclamation point ready. Here we go. Password is on the screen. And they are off. Perfect. So, as our timer runs down, these two are, both of them have been around the community for a while here. Weighty qualified better this time around, but FCS certainly no slouch. Definitely, I think, seen him in main tournament before?
I'm not sure I've seen them in main tournament, but they are a mainstay in the standard tournaments.
That for sure. All right, but yeah.
And with the results for Challenge Cup, they are. Everyone was pretty close to each other, all things considered, even between 46th and 86th.
Absolutely, yeah. That was. I mean, the number of points that sets basically the first and last placement in Challenge Cup apart really isn't that much. I think there was something like 50 points between 20 placements in some areas of the qualifier rankings. So yeah, definitely a group of people that can everyone pull off a surprise upset win. We are starting in Kokiri Forest, by the way. This is almost a vanilla child spawn. We are starting at the bridge where Saria henses the Ocarina, and we are getting some chests from Mido's house here. Kokiri Sword was nothing, but there's two big chests in Mido's house. We also get a heart piece here, and we get a bow straight away, as well as... Din's Fire. Well, that's certainly a thing.
Oh, and Din's Fire. It's not the most useful items right at the very start, but chances are you're going to need at least one of those.
Chances are, yes. I mean, odds are higher than not that Shadow Temple is somehow involved in this seed. And Mido do Provido today. Forest Temple on the path to Baronade is our first path end of the day.
Now, we did start off with the Requiem Spirit. That does give you a song that you can sort of pull out at any time, go pick that up. One thing that is interesting with a child start is it might be a problem getting back into market. One thing you can do with that Requiem song check is reset the time of day to, I think it's 10 AM. So when you pick that song up, I know I've had success getting back into market by using that for the time of day more than the
Yeah,
song
that's
itself.
neat, you're right. So, while
And
these two
speaking of
make
songs, we will be coming up to our first one.
yeah, while these two make their way through Sacred Forest Meadow, quick look at our starting layout. So we did already see that we started as child. We also start with a spirit medallion. That's neat. So we only need the shadow medallion as well as the light arrows to open the path into Ganon's castle, which is obviously a bunch of checks. So let's see how mean or not mean the seed ends up being. The path into Ganon's castle might open up really quickly, and there is Epona's song on the Sacred Forest Meadow. Ooh. Oh dear.
Song of Storms Ocarina time, it's always an unpleasant, well, in my opinion, it's always unpleasant to see that, as it does add a good amount of uncertainty into... Do you push stone dungeons in the thought that maybe the well has something, or one of the storms checks? Or do you just cross your fingers, pray, and never touch them? 20 skulls is the mirror shield.
Okay, and here's a repeat. Forest Temple on the path to Baronade.
It's twice we've seen that. It is very nice to get a 20 skull hint, because it's something a lot of people don't like getting to. If you don't have 30, 40, or 50 having something, a lot of people just write off the 20 skull item. And
yeah. So, skipping 20 skulls, certainly a gamble a lot of runners can make, or choose to make, because it is just what it is in logic basically straight away, or with a very low item requirements and a very diverse set of item requirements. It is just one check, and runners choose to play the odds rather often, so interesting to see how this goes. WeightyWords is choosing likely to play Requiem out of the Bridge Scrub check and Hintstone here. Desert Colossus on the path to Bongo. Yeah, you want to be in Colossus.
I think we might be able to hazard a guess what song's out in Colossus then.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be Epona's song.
A nice thing, resetting your time of day here is going to give you plenty of time to get to Lon Lon and then into market, clearing all of the sort of standard checks you want to get done in Child 1. Both your songs, a huge chunk of your Sphere Zeros. Sets you up nicely for your first adult trip.
And there is indeed, as you assumed, Nocturne of
And
Shadows.
there we are. As fast a path solution as you can get, really.
Yep, and we are peeking what's on the right hand. I don't think that was a big chest, huh?
I've always found it hard to do as a child. Never had that much success with it.
Oh boy, okay. Goron Pot is a strength upgrade.
Strength pot, but not in the way we're used to.
Oh, that was bad.
And Big Orange Dead. At least that's one hint telling us something's junk. Basically every hint we've got so far has told us a major item.
I mean, I wouldn't be complaining. I wouldn't complain too loudly about having, you know, hints that actually tell us stuff. Considering the seed I recently last.
Though, to be honest, as far as items to have on 20 skulls goes, the Mirror Shield's probably the best one. Because it doesn't lock any skulls.
Yeah.
So if you get lost looking for it, chances are you're going to get to 20 at some point.
We're getting chickens and chickens on screen. Outside these runners will be playing the trading places rather soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep, I can
well,
definitely
that's
see that.
Spirit Temple almost
There
beatable.
is one of our strengths.
I mean, we know where the other one is. All we need is bombs. And that basically, plus a hook shot, is basically your spirit kit. 50 is dead,
And
30 is dead, and 40 is dead. Alright, some good news.
speaking of the hookshot, iron boots on chickens. So we are rapidly working through items at the moment, but none of the items that really open up the early game. It's a lot of late game items, really. Din's Fire, knowing where the mirror shield is, iron boots. You don't. We're not picking up those sort of big hitters, the hookshot, the bomb bag.
We did pick up the bow.
The hammer.
That is certainly also something that opens up a lot.
That is true in combination with Eponas. That does open a decent amount in the Gerudo area. You've got training grounds opening up. You've got the horseback archery.
So, FCS walking out of London Ranch here. Meanwhile, Weighty is walking into London Ranch, so they're basically gonna high five at the entrance here.
FC has not picked up that Nocturne yet. Don't know if he's trying to save time of day or just clear out the child. Oh no, we're seeing a
you have a
Valley
routing
play.
opportunity
Valley
here
Lake
because
play.
you have a way to reset your time of day to daytime. You can basically at any time, or you can basically choose to do what FC just did, plans on doing, it seems, and do Child Valley and then Child Lake without basically any repercussions in terms of your time of day.
You can. The issue there is, though, your child spawn is a decent walk away from the market. So while you may be able to set time of day where you can easily get in, it does involve a trip across field.
There's always trade-offs.
Which might not be optimal. But with the time of day he does have at the moment, you will be getting to the lake checks as it's turning day, so you can use the owl to get in.
Oh, good point, yeah.
And with Bolero, you might see a bit of song chaining as soon as they do get to adult. You can use the Bolero to pick up one song, depending on what that is. You might get another song, then Requiem to get that Nocturne.
Oh yeah. So,
You kind of assume. You kind of assume it's going to be Nocturne.
So you're thinking FCS might chain that as an adult and go Bolero, and then depending on what you get there, either use that other warp song or chain it into Requiem then.
Yeah, I see Requiem being done last, because with that Desert Colossus hint, you can kind of assume it's going to be Nocturne there, which lets you go straight to Adult Kakariko in the day. Which is where you're going to be going first as an adult anyway.
Weighty is trying to make it
It's just an effective. Yeah, it's going to be tight. It is going to be tight.
Oh my.
That's...
Child Spirit entirely dead. Collecting rupees there on the chains when it was already turning night. That was certainly a gutsy move. Someone has a handle on their time of day. But yeah, Child Spirit entirely dead, so Spirit Temple can be completely cleared as an adult.
What I might
What?
see, what I can see happening, I think that was hover boots in there.
Certainly
Maybe.
did look
It looked like two brown pillars.
Yeah, it certainly did look like the other pair of boots. I was thinking the same thing.
Ooh. I can see Weighty heading to River next, because while he did squeak into the market there before it turned night, that does mean it's it's nighttime and you can't get all of the adult Kakariko checks. But with that particular time of day, you can do the whole of River and get back to Kakariko at just after it turns day.
Just at daybreak, yeah. So, interesting way that this spawn has kind of shuffled our routing around here. Still the same standard openers, but definitely done in a non-standard order here.
Oh, that's
hi,
true.
Magic.
It is daytime. It is daytime because he's in child shooting, so can Nocturne, but is not going to Nocturne.
Instead, going to Castle at deliberately making
Oh,
nighttime. Could be. Oh, it's perfect Dampe time though if you just get that hint up here.
yeah. The issue is if you then do Dampe now, how do you get back into market to do adult?
That's the neat
If
part.
you go do Dampe now, you're committing to the entire nighttime.
There.
Yes. Now, one thing I did see Weighty not doing, which I have been burnt by a number of times, is heading into market and not immediately checking the foolish hints. You know, you never want to go do market checks and then be told market's foolish. But magic and a bomb bag, definitely worthwhile to have done market.
Well, yeah, that's
Especially with this time of day routing.
that choice certainly has paid off, but let's see, yeah. Sacred Forest Meadow has Zelda's Lullaby. You don't say, game. Thank you so much. Alright, Jabu Foolish, Zora's River Foolish, and I did miss the third
Valley Foolish.
Valley, okay.
It was Valley Foolish, which is the risk of clearing up more of your child before checking those hints. FC's trip to Valley not paying out, as Weighty will never be spending that time.
On the other hand, FC has done Child Lake, has set up Pierre, so is well set for his first adult phase. He is likewise going to find his magic, find his bomb bag, and they are off to the races then as adults. Spirit Temple, Jabu, and I'm gonna look at my cheat sheet and see that said Spirit, Jabu, Shadow, Deku, and Fire Temple are our other medallions.
What was FC's time of day looking like?
Daytime, as it looks like.
It's gonna be a long... Yeah, it's gonna be a longer stay in Castle if FC is gonna be picking up that bomb bag. I can definitely see him heading to adult without it.
Oh, good point. Yeah, so here's Saria's song for Weighty from the Bolero spot, and it does look like we are dipping Fire Temple straight away.
Was Fire a medallion? Yeah, it was the
yeah, it's the
Shadow
medallion, so it's looking like
so,
that's
I mean,
likely logically early.
Yeah, I mean, you're not losing time, much time at all. You're losing about the amount of time to go from Bolero into Fire by doing this. And I mean, there's a big chest.
Yeah, immediate reward.
It makes
and
sense to
also,
head
again,
in here,
you have
see if you get any
Requiem,
keys.
You can get out of here very quickly. All right, it's a slingshot, but oh well. You have Requiem. You're not exactly wasting any time. Or you just play Nocturne and do your Kakariko opener first.
It can still be a useful slingshot. That's a way into Child Spirit.
The Child Spirit we don't need to do.
Was that one of the hints?
It was hinted dead. It was on Lake Lab. Okay, big chest onslaught.
Fuel
Just
hints on the
calm down a
Oh,
little.
right
game.
there.
Alright, blue potion, and more importantly, a bottle.
FC checking that hand as an adult, so that is pretty clear that it's not a big chest up there.
Hard piece up there on
That
the
extra foot adult Link has on top of child Link is the only way I've ever been able to successfully do that beat. Now, what is interesting is Weighty, with that bottle, does have 20 skulls, does have the knowledge and bomb bag to get a second strength, is only a hookshot away from completing Spirit Temple. That's the name I'm looking for. May have to do some shenanigans with the bow to light the torches, but can do
So,
it.
given the meta, Unhindered Stone Forest when?
Well, you'd get the hookshot first. For a god route, you'd want to be looking for a hookshot before going for Zelda's Lullaby, because you want to route Zelda's Lullaby in with your trip to Forest Temple.
I mean, Weighty is now routing in.
Because it's in Logic 2. That's the Lens of Truth
Oh,
in the Graveyard Crate.
interesting. We get... Ooh, that's neat. So Serenade early on here from the Windmill. I've come around on Serenade, by the way. Yes, it does not unlock any checks, but it is certainly very, very useful for routing.
Oh, anyone that's had to double dip Water Temple with no Serenade can tell you how how enjoyable it is to have.
I do not want to subscribe to that kind of story. That's no fun.
This is Season 8. It is the season of not being given any warp songs. At least in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask Jackstronomy and Philpine from 2 days ago, I think it is mostly Season 8, the season of getting bottlenecked to all hell. After your entire Qual season being Jets. Anyway. Looks like Weighty is just going up the mountain here. I don't blame him. Even if DC is a stone, I don't disagree with just heading there. Oh, reverse Kakarika loop first, though. I am still super quiet. Well, apologies. Let me turn that dial on that microphone.
Weighty is here. Weighty is here at night. It is missing that Andrew check. Sphere 0.
Okay.
Chances are it's nothing, but it could be something. And when do you go loop that back in? So the way this seed's going, you know, a Sphere 0 hookshot would not surprise me.
Me neither. Oh,
not to mention, I think at some point here, I think one of the key issues with this seed so far is you're getting drowned in options. You know, do you go for Zelda's Lullaby? Do you go for waiting for Forest Temple? Do you go to Training Grounds with that Bomb Bag, Bow, and Epona's Song? Do you head up the mountain? There's so many different options. One of them is going to be right. And Stone Dodongo's Cavern, correct? Yeah, we've got a lot of options, but they're all pretty much as good as each other at the moment. That hookshot's gonna be somewhere.
And WeightyWords
stream
froze on me, I think. No signal. Oh dear. That might have been an FPA soon. Format not supported. Might be a VC crash here. Weighty is playing on Virtual Console. He needs to call FPA.
Yeah,
I can't do it for him.
I don't know the error screen, so I don't know whether that's a stream or a Virtual Console.
It is a stream error. Sorry, it's a Virtual Console error. He is still streaming. Oh, yep. There he is back. Oh dear. He has not bothered to call FPA for this. That is
As
a
said in
choice.
chat, he did just save in that grotto, so in essence, what we've seen here might just be a save quit, really.
Yeah. All right. He did, in fact, not lose much time here, so it does seem like he chose to go another route, basically.
And you are free to do that if you don't call FBA. You know, you're free to use your time as you wish.
Mm-hmm. It is still a 2-minute time loss going back up the mountain here, which he seems to be doing. Anyway, his choice, his prerogative. And I can totally see if you just saved and you just want to get back into it, just restarting that console and just keeping on, keeping on.
He was not doing archery. He was shooting this skull right here.
Yeah.
Weighty hasn't been able to go to. Hasn't been able to go to daytime Kakariko yet, although it doesn't look like FC has pulled anything out of there.
Nope.
So the only time loss Weighty might get from that is after completing Dodongo's cavern and setting to daytime to head in and do those checks that he's missed.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Weighty heading straight into Dodongo's cavern. FCS necessarily. Kokiri Forest on a path to Twin Rova. That is a path bow. Or a path Dins.
Or path Storm's Grotto.
That also.
Which would be behind all dungeons, unfortunately.
The
The likely option is that it's Din's Fire.
Yeah. Din's Fire, you think?
I'd say it's most likely Din's, because there are fewer options for fire locks than there are bow locks. Also, the bow only locks the boss key chest in Spirit. There's only one bow lock check there. At least there's only one bow lock check there when you have Din's Fire.
Isn't the boss key chest also hammer locked though? Logically, I mean.
No. There's no hammer lock checks in Spirit Temple. There is a hammer switch, but that gets you into the shortcut where there's no items.
I thought there was a hammer lock on the boss key chest because it is logically required to do the puzzle in the room. Like you just walk through the Ring of Fire, obviously, and use the abuse invincibility frames, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. Just the bow, okay.
Yeah, but you can blow up the door hiding the eye switch with a bomb, so you don't need the hammer for it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Weighty is also not forgetting about his skulls. It's now at 5 Skulltulas and counting.
With Nocturne, this is going to be a seed for the Never Buy a Shielders. Now, an issue for FC here is going through a number of areas with bomb checks without a bomb bag that you will have to come back for.
Yeah,
the advantage
WeightyWords gained over FC by doing nighttime market early is just basically mitigated in the middle of my sentence, at least a little bit. It is a 5-pack of choose, but that's 5 explosive checks you can do.
I was about to say, depending on how many. See how many FC uses. How liberally is he going to use these bomb shoes?
2 choices here. Immediately just use all of them. Okay, and Child Spirit Foolish, also the hint FC gets here. Basically use all of them immediately and don't care about them. And not care about them, or just be very conservative. save and quit constantly, and I think with a 5-pack, that just leads you to ruin, because you can stretch it a long way that way, but you're also wasting a lot of time by doing that.
Yeah. Especially when you're talking overworld checks.
Yeah. Like in Shadow Trial is Stone of Agony. Well, that is a check we're never seeing.
Depending on the hammer placement, we might never see any of Ganon's castle.
That too. Oh, what do we got here? The other t-shirt. Both t-shirts on the mountain here.
Both t-shirts on the mountain, and we know where both the shoes are. A very early fashion percent.
There is also, I should say, a bomb-locked big chest in the maze, but I think you need 4 chews to open that, so FCS is foregoing that and heading for Sacred Forest Meadow instead to get that Zelda's Lullaby.
Yeah. You also know where the second strength is, so using the chews on the chest you know you can get to with both strengths, it isn't the best use. Especially when you know where Zelda's Lullaby is. With this Aria's song, you can go and complete Child Goron City with those chews. You'd have to use only those 2 chews, but... I can see rushing 20 skulls and the Goron Pot and Child Goron City. I can see doing that, because it gives you basically all of Spirit Temple. And if there's a hookshot in there, then we get the wonderful experience of Spirit Temple being our first completable dungeon.
Honestly, it's kind of looking that way.
Although we are...
I mean, the game will want you to complete Fire Temple first, just based on the fact that you have, how do I put it? You have that as one of your bridge medallions. But still, Spirit Temple does indeed look to be logically ridiculously early in here.
Chat saying, wouldn't rush 20, it's only like 3 checks. That's correct, but you want to complete Spirit Temple the first time you're there. You don't want to have to go back.
The medallion is not that important, though. So if you can postpone it to a point where you know for sure that you don't need anything else out of Spirit Temple, I think that would be preferable.
Well, the thing is, once you pick up the Mirror Shield, you can full clear it. You can do all of it.
Also
so you can just do all of it in one trip and never concern yourself with going back.
Yeah, what I mean is the dungeon prioritization in my head is kind of always trying to do the dungeons that you have to full clear anyway, like Forest Temple, for example, first. Obviously, not always possible, but if I can, I want to do these first and hope that I just run into something useful. Haha, Forest Temple having something useful. But that's the general idea. And only after that I would love to do dungeons where I can actually feasibly skip a portion.
We're still in the same issue that we were before, though, that there are so many options for where this hookshot could be, and at most 2 of them are correct.
This is true. And that is
the
FCS
longer we're
done.
going, unfortunately.
Oh, he has chosen to get his 5 chews back.
I mean, it makes sense. All he's picked up so far was, what, Goron Tunic?
Oh, he's getting 1 chew back.
Come to 1 chew.
Chose to save and quit here. That's interesting. He also equipped a bottle. Where are we headed? Oh, we're rushing
Big
ice.
pose through to Gerudo Training Grounds. Big pose to training grounds, I'd say. Yeah, emptying the bottle in market. It's
Okay, yeah, that's
clearing
reasonable.
through the... One issue here is that you are only going to be able to do 2 of the market checks. Not market, 2 of the field checks.
Weighty is also going to show us what is in that big chest over there. That was bomb locked. FCS did not have the equipment to get that, obviously. So let us see what is in there.
Yeah. While Weighty hasn't pulled anything out of the bag with these bomb bags yet, I can definitely see it happening soon.
And
There's a
market
scale.
also path to Volve, and there's a scale as well. Market path to
So the
Volve
scale
with a
is
strength and a magic in there.
Now that I think about it, with that scale, we are a hookshot away from completing Spirit and Shadow. We've got Dins, we've got Magic. We now have the ability to pick up the hover boots, if those are the hover boots. We know where the Mirror Shield is, and we know where the second strength is.
You are not wrong.
It's an odd situation to be in where your first 2 dungeons are Shadow and Spirit.
It is, given how ridiculously high the item requirement for these dungeons is. But it sure looks that way today. It had to happen sometime. Why not today?
And in my experience, the seeds where I've had Spirit Temple as my first completable dungeon have been the fastest seeds I've ever done. So we'll see if that pattern holds.
Here's open. FJS not leaving behind any checks here, is choosing to use Din's Fire here. And, well, it's just a heart piece, but now we know that. Crawl spaces in Spirit Temple are still dead. But yeah, we need a hook shot for this to be real.
Need that hook shot. The longer we're going, the more I'm feeling heading to training grounds is unfortunately the option. That song there is the best case scenario for FC, really. That is easy access to Forest Temple whenever you do get that hook shot. And it means that you are required to walk up Forest Meadow anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think of what's left. Doing field is a big chunk. Lake's another chunk. The big dump of items at the moment is going to be training grounds. Although you might want to put that off until you pick up strength 2.
Yeah.
It was in the Shield Grave in
the
Graveyard.
Yeah.
It was in the huge stream of big chests in a row, so it was quite hard.
Yeah. I was kind of losing focus here then. Okay.
Yeah, while it may have looked like a polite sphere 0 and 1, it just means that the rest of the seed can be so cruel.
Yeah, having no direction at all is also
You
kind
get a
of
load
difficult.
of different. Yeah. You get 8 different directions, and you've got to hope you pick the right one.
So with that slingshot from, I think that was in Dodongo's Cavern, is that right? Might have been Bridges
think
there.
so.
No, wait, that was Zora Tunic.
I seem to remember there being a slingshot around the time Weighty was in Dodongo's cavern, so. Who needs a scarecrow when you've got bombs?
Well, that's just part of life's wisdoms there, KLO. Who needs a scarecrow when you got bombs?
I mean, it would keep the birds out of your field.
If you use that outside of the OoTR context, that might get you put on some lists. But that's just me.
Was it this chest that had the slingshot? No, it wasn't. Okay. Both runners staying adult a bit longer. I can with the bomb bag and the irons, I can see Weighty. Oh no, we are seeing another trip to Child. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Going Child to pick up Strength 2 before you consider going to Training Grounds definitely makes sense.
So get that Goron pot taken care of. Get your second strength that way. Keep collecting skulls, maybe. I think time of day might be right for Weighty to do nighttime cack skulls.
Yeah, you just set it to Dampe time with the trip to Outside Gan's Castle. Outside Gan's Castle sets it to the start of nighttime. Regardless of what time it was when you went in, hard sets it to the start of nighttime, which is very nice if you have Nocturne for getting to do Dampe digging if you don't have Sunsong. Yeah, Song of Storms and Ocarina of Time is a nervous one. We are running kind of low on items that... And even further, we're running low on items that could be Storms locked. There is our Kiri sword, so Weighty will be able to clear out another medallion dungeon there. Unfortunately, the dream of Shadow and Spirit being the first completable dungeons is dead.
Yep.
But
this is also
we can still believe in second and third.
This is also not going to get postponed for long because, quite evidently, we can safe warp into Kokiri Forest at any time. So it does make sense to just do that after probably collecting, after getting your second strings, getting your 5 skulls from Nighttime Cack, so on.
I can't say I've ever seen that set up for the final bomb chew.
Ditto. That was an interesting one.
I don't know if there's a benefit to ramming yourself in the corner there, but I don't think that's faster. The bomb chew has further to travel. Might be more consistent. Standing closer and making the bomb chew go in a more direct line is a faster way.
Now, WeityWords is about to get his minuet. Certainly convenient for that to be ZL locked when it would be your quick way to get your ZL.
And here is while Training Ground and Fortress might be our biggest stock of items at the moment, having Deku there is 7 items that could be the thing that opens up the rest of the seed.
I mean, I mentioned it before. If you can do progression dungeons,
do
progression dungeons. If they are quickly completable and have a load of items per minute or a load of checks per minute, even better. Hello, Deku Tree.
I think my my spreadsheet somewhere that I made a long while ago. Deku is the second fastest check per second.
That seems
Behind the
legit.
well. Yeah, Weighty does have dins, but this is swag.
But
We're on
the menu
Restream, you have to
routing.
remember that. And one nice thing for FC here is that it's going to be pretty impossible, or going to be incredibly hard for him to miss the Kakiri sword, picking up this bomb bag with 90 rupees directly next to Bombchu Bowling.
Yeah, he just hates to find that
Well,
here. And
unless
I mean,
you-
unless of course you warp straight out of market and forget about Bombchu Bowling for the moment, then you might be in for another route entirely.
Yeah. To be fair, that's something I'm also very often guilty of, is planning a route in my head, picking up an item, and then continuing with the plan that was in my head, even though I could have used it.
Yep. Takes a moment to kind of reevaluate your plans that way, and I totally get it. Alright, so market to Volvagia for what? Bombs, magic, Kokiri sword? Who knows?
Could be all three for all we know.
Mm-hmm. There's still a path in doubt there, by the way. Which, knowing how this usually goes, is probably going to be an Evilsbane path.
It should be.
And there's WeightyWords at 10 skulls.
I mean, it could be a Goma hint. It could.
It could.
We're not necessarily guaranteed a Bane path, because we have one for the bridge. We have one for the bridge. We have one for the Gansbosky. It's just randomly picking categories now. Weighty, the first hit 10 skulls. Just not.
And that is Weighty off to Kokiri Forest here. Can't say I blame him. He chooses not to go up the mountain and get that second strength for the moment. FCS chooses otherwise.
Yeah, there's not much of a point in going up the mountain when beating Deku Tree dumps you right near the Lost Woods entrance. Anyway.
Yeah. Continuing to collect skulls as well.
I think a big decision maker here is, does FC do Bombchu Bowling on the way to Adult 2? The way to his second adult trip.
Here's hoping because
Don't have
that
Prelude
would
at the moment.
cost him
You do have
a
to walk through Market.
That would cost him a lot of time if he didn't.
It's already costing him time.
Is Child Link in Dodongo's Cavern? I am confused. Is that even legal?
Skulls. I'm assuming it's for skulls.
No, he wants to finish Dodongo's Cavern. He was in here without bombs, remember?
That is true. Oh, it might just be the bridge chest.
Mm-hmm, because he knew that was a big one.
Knew it was big. Yeah, this isn't the play that I would do because even with the shortcut setup, Child DC is deceptively slow. And to go round the full back loop.
That was not the droids he was looking for.
No, it was not. There's another bottle. I think if there's shield flicks we're going to see, it's going to be in Bomb Tube Bowling. Unfortunately. It is going to be slow, as you will need to then quit back to Kakiri Forest, go do Deku, and then get back into market again. Not to mention Weighty has a perfect way to set time of day to get back into market. You know, completing Deku Tree sets it to daytime. Yeah, beat Deku Tree, sets it to daytime. Stays daytime while you go pick up that Strength 2.
The route really just writes itself, doesn't it? At this point.
Yeah.
Double magic. This game really wants us to complete Shadow Temple early, doesn't it?
Okay, so yeah, I'm afraid you pulled your sword out, Weighty. It does get rid of your flame storage. And so, what was the other item in?
Was a bottle.
Okay, bombs or the Kakiri sword for Volvagia?
Well, hello there, hover boots.
There are. So, there was something else in Lake.
That is true. Where were those iron boots, by the way?
Was it the top of a bomb bag? Iron boots were on chickens.
Right, because both chickens had something
Might be the
this time
top of a
around.
bomb bag. Where was our scale again?
The scale was in
Scale was
Goron
in
City
Maze.
Maze.
Yeah, I was right.
So that is
So-
very much bomb locked.
It is bomb locked because our strength 2 is bomb locked in Goron City as well. So I'm leaning towards it being our bombs path in market. Alternatively, it's Kakiri sword to go get those hover boots. And our hammer is... you've done it again there, Weighty, unfortunately. Pulling the sword out gets rid of your
I do love this trick, though.
flame storage.
Really great recovery, and Weighty here choosing, despite the... so he slipped past the web right there, and he could have dropped down and just waited a few seconds down there, but when you can recover, you certainly should. So that would have been an illegal clip, but it can sometimes, as Weighty just experienced, happen by accident. So by convention, it is fine to just wait a few seconds to kind of give back the time that you accidentally gained, and then you're good.
Yeah, it's very hard to do deliberately. Although that jump slash to get this the sticklet is an AMQ strat, it does show the benefit of regular speedrunning, vanilla speedrunning, in helping you with random.
Yep. Cat on keyboard, says Baseball. Hi, Baseball's cat.
FC gonna pick up this scale now. Might not be useful right now, but is gonna be useful for heading to Jabu later. Which is the other reason I love Serenade. And everyone should love Serenade. Is walking up river sucks.
Well,
Especially when it's foolish
time.
river.
After doing it the first time, I think that the hint density on river is such that even a foolish river, which I've seen in a few Season 8 one-on-ones now, going there just for the hints is a defensible play.
It's understandable. I'd say I get use out of it less than it's a waste of time. I'll go there if I'm struggling. I used to be a firm believer in going river early for the hints, even if it's foolish, but it's just wasted time for me more often than not.
I mean, depends on the play mode as well. Triforce Blitz, for example, obviously puts a lot of emphasis on hints, overweights how important hints are compared to, for example, regular OoTR, or standard settings, I should say. So that is another place where it might be more reasonable to go for hints, go up there for hints, even if it's foolish. Alright, gold skull to the token for Weighty. He is now at 17. He is really pushing that 20 skulls. Wants to get that mirror shield soon. And I would assume he is going to get to Goron City now or very soon to get that second strength upgrade.
Yep. I think he might be
Ruto's
committing
letter.
to the Well, there is Ruto's letter. Do you hand it in? I don't think you do. I think you wait until you go into Forest Temple. Nah, I think you wait until you go into Forest Temple to pick up your boomerang.
Oh, well.
You don't have Furora's Wind at the moment.
I mean,
so
you need to be
taking
child
the time to head towards Jabu.
Nah, no, that makes sense. Being child and having to go there anyway. Yeah, go get your boomerang first. I don't disagree with that. Where is that hookshot though? Is it gonna be on boomerang chest? That would be the funny answer.
An equally big question at the moment is, where was the slingshot? Because both of us have forgotten.
Yeah. And chat is no help either. Disappointed.
Come on, chat.
Shieldgrave, says Ventinor.
This is why you're here.
But bottles were in Shieldgrave.
Shieldgrave was the bottle.
Yeah.
Although you're right in that I do think it was in that batch of big chests.
Might have been the first fire chest. Oh no!
I don't think he's getting it. Oh
Fire
yeah,
first.
it was the first chest in Fire Temple.
Well,
yeah.
FJS just has one bonus.
I would have
round.
said heading into. Yeah, I would have said heading into Fire Temple early was an odd play, but having checked the pedestal, you know it's a medallion. You're gonna go in at some point anyway. You're gonna check that chest when you go in. When you have Bolero, you just go in and check it. At this point, there's only 2 big chunks of checks left in the game, and it is Spirit Temple, and it is Gerudo Training Grounds. And I fully understand pushing for this Mirror Shield before you go in. That way you can clear out as much of Spirit Temple as you can without the hookshot, and then if you don't pick it up, you just reverse across the wasteland and presumably pick it up in the fortress area.
You hope for the best, at least.
Yeah. The only saving grace, I think, left here for FC is gonna be the location of this hammer. Because there's a significant chance that our market path has already been fulfilled. So this hammer can be anywhere, really. That's true, hookshot can be nice. Not as big an area as not as big an area of the Gerudo areas when it comes to number of checks, but it is in logic. Everything in Ice and Fountain is in logic. The bottom of the well is also a thing. We're 2 hook shots away from the bottom of the well. And if it is in there, that's definitely a way for FC to catch up. An all dungeon seed is a good equalizer if you've had early mistakes or early bad luck.
This is true, but I wouldn't like it. This just doesn't feel like the kind of seed that should go all dungeons. And yes, this is based on gut feel alone.
When's that ever stopped, Fido?
Yeah. Also, Pierre atop the fire temple is a
big moment for FC.
junk item.
Big moment for FC.
Does
not
that.
Look like. Oh, he's buying a shield. Unfortunately, buying a shield means you're not going to have 60 rupees. But is going to grind rupees. Is going to go pick up the Kakiri sword. Oh, are we... I think we're going to be seeing a trip to training grounds from FC here. The only reason I can see you buying a shield now when you know where Mirror Shield is if you're going into training grounds to do bomb jumps.
That is an interesting choice.
This is not the time. You have strength too. You know, maybe you don't find your hook shot there, but at that time you were still looking for Kakiri sword, you were still looking for hammer, still looking for hovers.
This, by the way, is the correct setup for top center on Bumshoe Bowling here. And there's Weighty learning about Pierre atop the fire temple not being useful today.
Well, a fun time save note. Your item in Bumshoe Bowling only presents itself to you once all the Bumshoes have stopped. So if you launch multiple Bumshoes, you're losing time because it has to wait until your second Bumshoe explodes. So when you can afford it, you should only ever be opening one. Or launching one, I mean. Weighty is one skull away. Will likely be picking up... No, can't pick up that one, you've not got a hook shot. Wonder what this last skull is going to be.
You know what? All the ones that I was going to suggest off the top of my head are hookshot lock. So let's see. But first, Bolero. Weighty certainly has a skull in mind.
You've got
Well, Ice Cavern gives you that skull as well.
I mean, no, because all of those need hookshot. I mean, the one I would have gone for is the one outside Gans Castle.
Logically, that needs hookshot too, but you are right.
No, that is Sphere Zero. That is the 13th Sphere Zero skull. The one outside Gans Castle. Logically, you're able to slash it with a sword and backflip into it. Or even just jump into it. It does involve killing yourself, so logically I think it's excluded in one-hit KO settings. But you can do it. What are we looking for today? Currently, we are looking for... The hammer is essentially the only item that... The hookshot and the hammer are essentially the only two items we are completely unclear on. We know the mirror shield is on 20 skulls. We don't know where the boomerang is, but we have a hint that Forest Temple is path to Baronade. So whatever's in there is leading to the boomerang. Everything else, we pretty much know where it is. Everything else, we need to beat the game. Oh, and light arrows. I forgot about light arrows.
Yeah.
And that's
Light
why I'm
arrows
not
are a
in
thing.
challenge. Yeah, Ruto's letter is on the target in the woods with the slingshot, at least the slingshot Weighty picked up in the first chest of Fire Temple. Weighty headed there almost immediately. Ooh, trick from the Skulltula there, moving sideways.
Oh boy, FCS is about to retaliate against those Skulltulas and all that came after them.
Unfortunately not. No boomerang, no slingshot.
You can still bomb them.
Oh, you can only bomb the bottom one, I'm afraid. The other one is untouchable. Now, we did get hinted earlier that both chests in Child Spirit are dead, so we are guaranteed all of our keys up here. Or one key here. And 2 keys on Child Climb. I'm including the sunblock room in Child Climb. We do need a hookshot for one of those chests, but not that one, which is beginning to lend credence to the idea that the hookshot is in here.
Here's hoping.
Because that now opens up... it opens up the entirety of Spirit Temple now.
Yeah, there has to be a small key in here because, yeah, all the other 3 chests we know aren't. We know where something is by where it isn't. Or something like that. I'm sure this can get deeply philosophical if you ask the right person. I'm not that person.
Missile knows where it is by calculating where it isn't.
And
so
of
do
course
we.
you know the reference.
I've been on the internet for a good while now.
I can
We're all
tell.
getting old. So do we think the hookshot is here, in training grounds, or in ice? Because chances are it's in one of those. There is key number 4. There's 11 checks and well. So there's 14 items here in Spirit, and we will be able to look at all of them.
Look at, but not touch all of them. So let us see. There's a big one. And this is logical.
The
This
big
is our
one.
hook shot.
Is accessible with hovers.
Oh, of course it is.
There it is.
That is ridiculous.
Not mirror locked, but it is going to be nice to clear the entire thing in one trip.
We have another big chest.
If this
in
is
here.
hammer,
Magical.
it's going to be an incredibly quick feat.
That could be. No, it's another bow.
It's another bow, and not a bow locked bow, is it? So I think our remaining key must be in sunblock room.
So this is the map chest of spirit, right? Or was that compass? I always confuse these two.
Which one?
The one by the torches.
The map chest is the torches. Map chest is the torches. The compass is the Zelda's Lullaby locked one on the lower adult. Honestly, Scrubs is the best settings to work out where your maps and compasses are, because it keeps the chests big.
I disagree with that. I think
yeah, I would not be skipping everything after this.
Chest appearance matches contents is such a powerful setting. I don't wanna be without it.
Yeah, but they've got appearances.
Oh, true.
Scrubs,
you're right.
At least.
Okay, so we want. Finish Spirit, then just do Shadow, because that's another proc dungeon you can just do. Then you probably head into Forest, because you have a path to Baronate there that gets you into Jabu. And then you hope by the time you're done there, you probably can get into Fire Temple.
Yep, you always want to do Shadow first here.
Yep, proc first.
Because
always proc
the
first.
the more items you pick up, you know you need to do Forest Temple. You know you need to go into there for progression towards Jabu, but you know you have to fully complete Shadow. The more items you pick up in Shadow Temple, the less useful it is to continue in Forest. Because, if you go through Shadow and it's completely empty... Yep, Jax, that's what I'm thinking, and I'm looking at JSON files right now. Where is lower adult? Aha! Using bombs to enter... Is it? Spirit Temple Boulder Room, bow or hook shot, or has bomb choose? Yeah. Okay, yep, you can buy, you can do that with bomb bag. Because you can buy bomb choose, and bomb choose are logical. So the bow is not path to access Upper Spirit, although that would be fun. But yeah, as said in chat, the answer is going to be that the sunblock room is key 3. And I'm pretty sure from the trip into Child Climb, we know that sunblock room is a key now. And that's why Din's is path. Which makes me think we're going to see a big chest in Shadow Temple that has fire arrows in it. The right hand cannot be key 3. It can be key 4, but it cannot be key 3. Is to get the right hand, you either need 5 keys or 3 keys and the long shot. Love it when Din's is equipped in that top room. So do I, but that's because the crash of using... So, for anyone who doesn't know, in the vanilla game, using Din's fire on a white bubble crashes the game because the damage table does not calculate it the damage for that item correctly on that enemy.
Yeah, we fixed it in Rando, though.
But that has recently been... Yeah, that has recently been fixed. Or at least semi-recently been fixed within Rando. Yeah, because it was known you weren't able to call FPA on it when it did exist. Winrova not being very polite at the moment. But Weighty. Gotta get out from underneath them if they're standing on top of you. Yeah, I think one of the only ones that isn't fixed left is finishing a flag cutscene while climbing a ladder. For example, being on a ladder while the skull in Dodongo's cavern opens up. That will soft lock you because you get stuck on the ladder.
And there was our
And in a
last
more
path
annoying
end.
way. Oh, what was the path hit? Sorry? Lost Woods to
Evil's
Evil's Bane. That smells very much like Ruto's letter to me.
There was Ruto's letter. There was also wasn't there a big chest in one of the bomb lock checks? Seem to remember that. Am I getting my seats confused again?
You know what, let's just say it was the slingshot.
Yeah, it does sound. That does sound like it's letter. Okay, so FCS is now heading across the valley on Epona. Interesting choices here.
I mean, it makes sense. You've got two big chunks of items.
Without the hookshot, though?
While yeah, he bought the shield. That's why I think he's going for it. I know it's not logical, but he's still looking for Ruto's letter. He's still looking for the boomerang. Is one of them's towards Forest Temple, but still looking for the hammer and the hookshot. There's plenty of items that you can pick out of here by going out of logic. And this has been on his mind for a while now from buying that Hylian shield. I think the other reason you might not want to head to Spirit is the idea that you know Child Spirit's not got any keys, which means 50% of your possible first key locations are hook locked. I mean, personally, it's not a huge amount of time investment to go check, but that might be reason to push towards early training grounds instead.
We start forest.
And horseback archery, of course.
So interesting. WeightyWord says, you know, making a liar out of both of us. Has chosen to go to path forest over just finishing or doing progression shadow.
I have my reasons for saying Shadow Temple is the correct play, but it's not a huge difference, really.
Yeah, besides that, honestly, I'm just a commentator. You and these two are definitely more competent runners than I am, so while I have my opinions, I'm not going to say that someone who qualified number 46 in last year's qualifiers is making the wrong choice here.
46 in this year's qualifiers.
This year's even, yeah. All right, horseback archery. Is that going to be something?
I'm not going to let the number 1 seed in Scrub Season 4 Minuet bracket sell himself short.
That was not me.
Don't worry, I still remember your performance.
Number 1 seed. BS, I say.
Shadow Temple is potentially go mode. I mean, it could be, but the chances of it being a useful go mode aren't high. So, just... So what was that? That was a bomb bag. The hook shot was in Spirit Temple. But one of the strengths was bomb locked. Okay, so that is a bomb locked bomb bag. Can't think of anything else that was in Lost Ridge.
Don't recall either, so yeah.
And I mean, Ruto's letter opens up quite a number of checks, so
Alright,
chances
let's
are it's
see how much FCS will get rewarded for going GTG here.
That's... It's good. It's good to have the slingshot. It means you don't have to dip Fire Temple. But you still have to go do Target in the Woods, and... Well, I mean, he does have the Lost Woods hint now. You didn't pick anything else up there, having the slingshot to go do it is something. It's a time investment to do it, but... I think that's a big chest on the... One behind 5 key doors. Unfortunately, you need one more key to get there.
Well, slay some Stalfos.
Who's ready for the only major item in here to be on... I'm just reading a message from chat saying, who's ready for the only major item in here to be on Phantom Ganon? Personally, I would be not displeased by that, because it means it removes the question of, do I do the rest of Stone Forest?
Yeah, that would be helpful, but instead we get a major item on the ice switch in this very room. So let's see what that is, and if WeightyWords chooses to continue here.
Yeah. Third bow, could be a third bow,
yeah,
could be Nehru's, could be the boomerang. I mean, the ideal situation is that it's the hammer and you've got your boomerang and fire, but we'll see what it is.
It's a wallet. That's not helpful at all. That is absolutely not helpful. WeightyWords knows this. FCS, on the other hand, might get baited by this, honestly. No, wait. WeightyWords also has both t-shirts. Never mind.
Yeah, WeightyWords had the 5 bomb shoes and spent them on 2 shirts.
Trade
or at least
offer.
spent
I
on seeing
get
where the
5
shirts
bomb
were.
shoes, you get 2 t-shirts. I am not sure I would take that offer.
The first hook shot was in the... what is it?
Statue room in
The
Spirit.
northeast corner of... yeah, the northeast corner of the Spirit Temple lobby. So the one that you play Zelda's Lullaby for, but isn't on the hand. Correct, it is behind Din's. That chest is 3 key locked. Which is quite... Spirit Temple key logic is a best effort situation, because it is true that you cannot pick up 3 keys without walking past the 3 key locked area. But, you know, you just gotta accept it. Does Wasteland have anything for us today? I don't know if Sadie's around. We do not. Now, FC is not picking up that skull token, which I can only assume means he has 20. Oh yeah, can't get it. Doesn't have the hook shot.
I do not expect Sadie to be around. I expect Sadie to be spending time in the arms of her girlfriend. Or, I mean wife! Anyway. That is...
And there is the boomerang.
Yeah,
So
bail from WeightyWords. That makes sense.
I fully understand leaving there. You know, if you pick it up in the basement, sure, you go beat Aunt Ganon.
Colossus to Bongo. You're in the right area, WeightyWords.
Which hint is it waiting?
He's looking for the fifth
the Evil
path
Bane
hint.
one, right?
And his lost woods to Bane, which is all the more incentive to him to get on with the program, start in on his next. And Frogs 2, we know that is dead already.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of. There's what, 2 sometimes hints left?
Yeah, he needs to get. So just start in on his next progression dungeon. Off to Shadow Temple we go, but it seems like WeightyWords is still choosing to ignore Shadow Temple for the time being.
See, heading into Shadow Temple, also a valid play without hookshot. You can do half the dungeon. It's still a decent number of items.
Maybe that's a
For
second
example,
hookshot.
this one.
It's an emotional support fish.
Not an emotional support fish at the moment. That is still a perfectly valid sacrifice to our Lord and Savior Jabu Jabu.
That is true. It could just be. It couldn't be. It could be not an emotional support fish. It could just be lunch. Weighty is choosing to get that lens of truth here with a boomerang trick. This is legal. And first try, nice.
Yeah, it's one of these tricks that looks difficult and is difficult for the first 3 times you get it. But
Yes, hi. I've never
once you've got it a
past
few
the first
times,
two.
yeah, there are some tricks where it doesn't matter how many times you do them, they will start to fail. That's me and Crossing the Wasteland Forward, but
I mean, that's me and V1 skip. I can do it. I can do it pretty consistently, but it is still there's still the odd one where it just goes, yeah, you're not getting this for 5 minutes.
yeah, but that one's quite literally everyone. Everyone has bad days on B1 skip. WeightyWords just taunting the owl there. Sending him off on his way and then running away.
So what was
So
there
what
down
was
there in the
this?
water? Nothing useful. Did it look like a Deku nut in the
No, because it was
dust
nighttime.
light? Deku nut.
I
Deku
think I
shield.
saw some yellow shiny, but that could have been that could have been one of the rupees I saw.
Chat says it was a plank of wood. This is interesting. So Weighty is going to show us Jabu now, which yeah, it's a progression dungeon. You can do it. I'm just astonished you would, in terms of just number of checks, do that over Shadow. You have to do it anyway, and you have to do it fully. Like
Yeah.
you can't really skip any checks in here. Well, you can skip the one.
And just think, you could have not had to go pick up a fish. You could have picked up your spooky spooky mausoleum fish instead. Still fresh.
Always fresh.
You do have to do Jabu, and it is a song, but the song is either Sun Song or the Song of Time or Prelude, none of which are particularly useful. While Shadow Temple's available, it's so many items that you're much more likely to end up going into Go mode, going through Jabu, than you are going through Shadow.
I mean, Jabu is on the path to Evil's Bane, or rather, the Ruler's Letter was on the path to Evil's Bane by
An
our current
option.
assumption.
Yeah, an option on the path to Evil's Bane.
The other option, obviously, anything else in Zora's Fountain or in Ice Cavern, but from
Jabu
that
is
point of
foolish,
view,
correct, but it is the Forest Medallion. Ice Fountain or Song of Time / Sun Song. Yeah, cleaning up Child's fair. Maybe it's just because I'm not as good at routing it, but personally I'd want to clear the individual location and try and clear up the rest of the child areas. Really what this is coming down to at the moment is FC just not wanting to go into Spirit without that hookshot, or without the Mirror Shield. Yeah, Weighty didn't want to go in either without the Mirror Shield, but managed to collect those hookless, boomerangless 20 skulls a lot faster. Or not so much was able to collect them a lot faster, but push them harder. Now FC is heading through what's going to be an empty Shadow Temple. Unless the long shot is exactly on this chest. Which it isn't, and unfortunately it doesn't have Furore's Wind either. There is no free Furores in these settings.
yeah. So this is 2 minutes that FC is never getting back. And he's gonna have to spend walking into the dungeon. Oh dear. That is not the way I wanted him to turn.
No, heading to...
I mean, he's heading to the ferry. That's
Well,
fine.
he's already done training ground, so this is just the fair. He's already done training ground, so he's not reversing.
He's dipped into training grounds. I don't think he's done it all.
Yeah, he hasn't done the hookshot locked stuff, so he's not going to be looking for the hookshot in there. Very nice spin attack. Got all of the jellyfish in one spin. They played nicely for Weighty there. They have never done that for me. In multiple years of playing Rando, I have never once managed to get all of the jellyfish to actually go where they should.
Basically a superhuman feat, to be honest.
Although I did once hit both wobbly things in the room after Big Octo with one boomerang throw, and got so excited I immediately jumped off the ledge. Yeah, see, FC's heading to the boulder room first is acutely aware of only one of these two possibilities being open.
probably won't even look at the other one, to be honest.
I always do. I always check the compass, regardless of whether I have a hookshot or not, because I have been burned too many times by skipping it when I don't have hookshot or Zelda's Lullaby, and then forgetting it exists. And then spending another 2 hours looking for the mirror shield that was in the compass chest all along. Definitely hasn't happened twice. That would just be embarrassing. Unfortunate that FC has rooted this last compared to when Weighty rooted it. It isn't a huge amount of time investment to go check whether the rest of Spirit is hook locked, but I can understand not wanting to do it.
Yeah, I get it.
Another medallion boss on the plate. Baronade is the most fun boss. Let's see how Weighty does. A good phase 1. Hits the phase 2. Will Baronade play nicely for phase 3?
Sure seems that way. And that's one more hit.
Yeah. Propped up against the wall as well, so he's always coming towards you. As good as you can do, Baronade.
FCS was not planning on this, honestly. That really did look like it took him by surprise for a moment.
There was... I'm not sure whether it was surprise. I think it was more of a large sigh.
That is also an option. Just a quiet sigh of resignation of, really? That's where that was?
Seeing that is where I would give another sigh and just assume it's the hammer and I'm about to lose, but... Luckily not. He is still in with a chance, depending on where this hammer shows up.
He finds the hammer, he's back in the running.
Yep.
And Weighty can honestly... That's the other copy of the Evil's Bane Hint. Those are mean locations.
Yeah. For those who might not know the hint stone logic, you are always guaranteed to have one of your hints accessible before the item it hints. So in this case, you wouldn't be able to have both of those Evil Bane hints in Fountain. One of them would have to be accessible before Ruto's letter. It doesn't mean that the other one isn't, so you might only have one of them accessible, which is in this case. Which is just extra mean, really.
Yes. One more place in OOT Randomizer where the Shakespearean quote applies. Though it seems madness, and yet there's method in it.
And FC just rattling through these last 4 skulls now.
He knows he will need to return with a mirror shield, so he's going to try and make that happen as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
WeityWords
and you're
is done being a child.
Yep, I was about to spot what the Jabu song is. It's Song of Time.
Huh.
So that is one potential check open for lights there. 2, actually. 2 awful ones. You're going to be hoping you find it in ice or icy waters. instead of the toilet or river. Melons, Jabu Shadow Spirit.
WeightyWords walking back into the Temple of Time. Did we forget something? We forgot something. That is very certainly a play to get treasure chest game while he's in the market. I'm pretty sure he does not want to turn child again, so he is clearing up that.
Clearing it once and for all. So, get your guesses in chat.
Yes. There's only one correct guess, and it's always mine. Left, 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 right, right. So what's interesting for me is, if you're digging for hammer, do you bail when you find the boomerang? And the last one in is Mage 26. I'm still in with left, 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 with my double left here, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the chat, but I always go right, left, right, left, right, so I'm still at it. As for your question of, do you stay in forest? Oh.
Oh. And Fenris gets it.
Close.
GG.
As for whether you stay in forest, I can see continuing. I can see continuing if you've exhausted quite a number of options. But you do still have the rest of Shadow. As for where lights are... we had Din's hinted. Hookshot was Din's locked. So, lights shouldn't be Song of Time locked. Because you need the hookshot to go... yeah, you need the hookshot to go get the boomerang. So it could be in either of the fountain checks or the ice. So those are the spots for light arrows. Although it might be the hammer in ice and the lights are in Fire Temple. It's also a valid option. Weighty now heading to the progress dungeon. Fully cleared child. Let's see if Shadow Temple is the answer to where this hammer is. I mean, what other options are there? There's the rest of Forest. There's Water Temple. Water Temple does exist and has been accessible for quite a long time.
Nope. Water Temple is
yeah, there's 4 items in there.
Yep. No, 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 no. That would be very rude, and I do not acknowledge the possibility. If you do not see the Water Temple, it cannot hurt you.
There's only 2 checks fewer in Water Temple than there is walking to Fountain and Ice. We do know light arrows are in Fountain or Ice, so...
so yeah, I mean, that's kind of an argument for...
you're always going to prioritize that.
But before that, you prioritize proc dungeons, and that is what WeightyWords is not doing.
Yeah. I can see not wanting to ever come back child again, but they've even removed the age change cutscene.
Still slow.
Also, I do find it funny that right at the start of the siege we did say, you know, that Ganon's castle could be open incredibly early because we started with the Spirit Medallion. It's now definitely going to be the last place we can access. Case scenario for FC if it is in water or the well, because not only would it mean doing all dungeons, it would mean having to go and do chickens to pick up the iron boots. Actually, that goes for if light arrows are in icy waters too. Yep, there are a lot of things working against FC right now. Getting that hook shot later, not having those iron boots when it's one of the 6 items that could be lights or light locked.
Oh no!
Was that Wallmaster
FCS
collection?
had a meeting with the Wallmaster. And just before the boomerang too, I think.
I did miss that. Was he trying to climb the ladder?
Yep, he was.
Yeah, that's got me a number of times in the past.
It got me too, but jeez, this random number generator is not in favor of FCS today.
No. And I mean, the routing mistakes made aren't the things that have actually made that much of the difference here. Like, not picking up the bomb bag straight away wasn't a mistake. You know,
No,
you can't just force time of day at times. The only routing thing here was not going and picking up the Kakiri sword after picking up the bomb bags, which really, in the essence of things, has only cost 4 minutes max.
Yeah, Weighty made a few very... I'm not gonna say very lucky gambles, but made a few gambles in the beginning of this seed that really paid off for him.
I don't know if I'd say the bomb bag was a gamble that paid off. On a child start, it's a pretty standard skill to ensure you get back to market as it's turning night or as it's turning day, so you can get both of those in one trip. You know, it requires forward planning from the very start of your route, or from the moment you go pick up Nocturne, in this case, and setting your time of day via Requiem check. But it's definitely something you can route around. and sometimes you don't need to do it. And playing as if you don't need to do it, you know, it makes your opening so much more flexible. And it probably pays out just as many times as it doesn't. And in this case for FC, it unfortunately hasn't.
Mirror shield for FC. Alright, Weighty has reached the point where FC had to abandon Shadow Temple.
So we are getting fresh new checks from here on out.
Yep. Well, FC has
Still no Furor's Wind, so we're gonna have to kill bats like a scrub. It's unfortunate. Furor's Wind just feels so much nicer. I've been playing a lot of Escape from CAC, which gives you Furor's Wind from the start.
This is the first time FGS actually looks at the compass check here. And Weighty has now reached 5 small keys. Needs a boss key and then could, if he's a brave man, go mode Shadow.
Yeah. I do appreciate getting 5 keys by the time you get to Shadow Pot when you're still missing 1 item. Like, yeah, you can't do this in any other race, Shadow. You can't do this any other time you're my final dungeon, but now you'll do it.
Yeah, now it'll do it because Mido has a sense of humor. Hard piece chest here.
One option none of us have actually mentioned is hammer can still be in fire.
No, it can't. We're hammer locked.
Is there a reason? Are we? Oh, it was a slingshot first chest, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Sorry to contradict you there, KLO, but that is the one place it really can't be.
In that case...
Hey, go mode Shadow, which gives us exactly nothing, because we're still gonna look at the other 3 checks.
We're still gonna look for the hammer anyway.
Yup.
Although now that I think about it, if fire's gone, it's not unreasonable to say now that light arrows are not going to be in Fountain. It's going to be the hammer there. The number of places for hammer is whittling down. Because there's Water Temple. We don't know where the long shot is, so if the long shot doesn't show up, the well isn't a possibility. Really, we're down to the Fountain area and Water Temple. I guess we haven't done Adult Lake.
Adult Lake is a thing.
Sorry, I don't know if I cut out there.
I do not know. I know. Yeah, Adult Lake is a thing. You are right.
Okay, I did good.
Yeah.
No, I have
Water Temple is a thing. You seem to be delayed, though.
Second, let me refresh the stream.
All right. This doesn't look like nothing at all in the trap room. Nope. So one more check. It'll be the final invisible floor master. And then Do you dip deeper into forest? Do you check water temple? Do you go and check out GTG? By density, I would say GTG.
On Weighty's front, you go training grounds.
Yep, can still be on Bongo. Well, oh yeah, ice. Ice is the thing that exists.
Yeah. We're meaning after ice. Is you go to the hinted spot first.
Yeah.
Or pseudo hinted. The issue is, once Weighty has beaten Bongo here, that will be him starting the hammer hunt. FC has a good amount to catch up first, before he can even consider hunting for the remaining items.
Still not gonna call this over until, Weighty actually finds that hammer. Because if FC runs into it first,
Yep.
that can turn this race around in a jiffy. Alright. Let's see. Skater Boy? Yes. Good rhythm. That was clean. So, Skater Boy reference. You need a 150 BPM song to keep perfect time for stun locking Bongo here. Skater Boy happens to be one, and I fail to see why I should look further.
I go for a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That used to be my choice,
There's
but then I remember that Skater Boy is actually the better song.
Question from chat. What caused the huge disparity? Had to leave for a haircut. There were two things. One, WeightyWords. When WeightyWords got to market the first time, we started as child, so as soon as he got to market, he managed to time it so he was able to do day and night market at the same time to get Bombag off of Richard, while FC got there in the middle of the day. Secondly, the hookshot is in the Spirit Temple lobby. You have one of the adult lock checks in the Spirit Temple lobby. Weighty pushed the mirror shield on 20 skulls a lot harder and went there first. FC went to training grounds, went to Shadow Temple, went a few different places with those bomb checks scattered around before eventually going to Spirit Temple as I think his last location, really. Last major location. Hammer in bottom of the well is still a thing that could happen, that is correct. We'll put that out of our mind until Longshot shows up. Until then, the well does not exist. Which always feels like the best way to go about things. Just completely ignore. Completely ignore the well until it is actually a possibility.
Completely ignore the well, and it is ice time for WeightyWords. This makes sense.
Yeah, ice is 100% the next play here, because we know that Ruto's letter is path to the light arrows, which is the other item we don't have to complete the game. Now, due to hint shenanigans, we can be pretty sure the hookshot doesn't lock the light arrows, which means that completing Jabu doesn't, so it's not going to be the Song of Time. So it must be either Ice or Fountain. And the Iron Boots were Sphere 0, so the Icy Waters are a possibility. and I wouldn't want to call it too early, but if the light arrows are on icy waters, I cannot see a world in which FC pulls that back.
That hint. I mean, he's going to need to use that slingshot. That slingshot is mandatory.
It's not so much this. It's not the slingshot I'm referring to there. It's iron boots on chickens. It's another thing that FC has not picked up. So if the lights are down there, not only does he need to go do target in the woods, which is hinted, means he's going to have to go do unhinted chickens. And there's
also
3.
the gold gauntlets. If you're looking for an answer as to where that hammer might be. Inside Ganon's castle is not in play today, but OGC Fairy certainly is. WeightyWords has determined there is nothing underneath the icy waters worth his time. Into Ice Cavern it goes.
Yep. The other bad scenario for FC would be if we go into Ice Cavern and we pick up a long shot. That's another reason you might need the iron boots. Welcome in, Skyrius. Thank you for the raid. You're joining in at... I was going to say the later stages of this race, but it's not the later stages until we know where all the items are. We are currently looking for an unhinted hammer. Hammer could be anywhere. And light arrows that are behind Ruto's letter. We know it's not in Fountain, so there is almost definitely something in Ice Cavern that's going to lead.
I mean, Ice Cavern also has Sunsong, I think.
Does have Sunsong. That could be another thing that leads to... those light arrows. Market of all, we're pretty sure was bombs. My thoughts are that it's the Kokiri sword to get hover boots out of Deku Tree.
Really depends how deep the game wants you to go into Fire Temple. Yeah, this is true. Bombs would be path for going through Spirit.
No, because Spirit's the light medallion.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, path prioritization. You're correct.
Not the Spirit.
Okay, there's the light arrows. That was an easy Evil Bane path. Ruto's letter points to LA. There we go. Yeah, just chilling there. There's also another big chest. This is our hammer.
There's the other.
I'm calling it.
This is a very likely position for that hammer. Since the hammer is on the bridge, that should mean it's not hookshot locked.
We are done here.
Yep, there they are. Very quick go mode. I will retract my statement of this might not be the later stages. This is the later stages.
This is now definitely later stages. Welcome to go mode. WeightyWords. I'm sorry, but I don't think there's a world.
No, unfortunately not. Still needs to go child to do Jabu. Not only do you have to do Jabu, you need to go do target in the woods. I think it's a straight line for FC to finish, because he's got the Lost Woods hint. You've got the Lost Woods hint, so you go there and do target in the woods, because that's the only thing left.
So, yeah.
And then once you've got that, you do Jabu, and then you chase the Evil Bane hint.
Yeah, but that's another half hour of seed for FC.
Yeah, yeah. It is a straight line. It's not a straight line he's going to get to finish.
Yeah, so WeightyWords, 2 big gamble. No, not big gambles, but WeightyWords, 2 gambles I think that really paid off for him. I still claim the bomb bag really set him up. It really helped him route the seed better than FC could. Because he did not need to be sparing with his bomb choose. He did not need to double dip certain areas to get, for example, to that big chest in the Goron City maze. And also, the second choice that kind of pivoted off of the bomb bag, maybe, because if you want to dip fire, you really do want to have a bomb bag. The second choice that really benefited him was dipping fire, getting locked out early, but finding a slingshot in the process. So he was able to take that slingshot into his second child phase and look for and get that Rudo's litter.
Yeah.
It kind of snowballed from there.
While from the outside these may look like gambles, they do come at very sort of logical reasons. You know, you
I'm not saying they are
your
bad
first
gambles.
child.
I'm saying they're calculated risks, and he was good at math. Or maths, as the Brits call it. Maths.
I mean, it's not so much a risk. The first child. Oh,
Early boss key.
are you trying to tell me that? Are you trying to tell me there's an? Are you trying to tell me there's an early key, an early boss key in a go mode fire?
In a go mode fire, and the hover boots were indeed path to Volvagia, so it was case sword for hovers.
That is true. Yeah, because the only because that's was it bomb locked?
Yeah, but I'm very irritated about the.
No, ignore me. Ignore me. The other bomb is still bomb locked because you can't get that third strength without handing in Ruto's letter, and the scale was bomb locked. So, in an incredibly convoluted way, yes, the other bomb bag was still bomb locked.
I am still. I'm gonna say case sword and hovers, 2 hovers, and yes, the bombs as well, because that was the bomb lock check that gets us to Volvagia here in the big lava room. So.
Yeah.
I am beyond confused at just like you are about a fire temple, a go mode fire temple that actually gives you the boss key before hammer chest.
It just doesn't happen.
No, this is not how the world works.
I choose to believe that I fell asleep, as I tend to do in Fire Temple, and just missed it.
By the way, go mode Shadow could have been a thing. Shadow was go modeable. There was nothing of value on the last 3 checks. You could have just rushed to Bongo if you were an absolute mad person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could have if you'd rushed ice, or not rushed, if you'd gone ice first, because you did have the hint telling you that you probably needed to go to ice. Since you didn't have the hammer, I still say doing Shadow Temple first was the correct option.
Yeah, I agree.
What was I saying before the boss key? Oh yeah. So when you start as a child, ideally you want to finish your route at either as it's turning day or as it's turning night, so you can clear out that. So you can clear out both elements of market, and I'd say that's less of a risk on WeightyWords' part, and just rather than just good time of day routing. Meanwhile, the going in to Fire Temple might look like a gamble to begin with, but when you have Bolero, getting back to Fire Temple is incredibly quick, and you're going to need to go do that chest at some point anyway. It's a medallion dungeon. It's 100% a risk if it was a stone fire, but both of those decisions make complete sense and really aren't as big a risk as they might first have appeared to be.
Yeah, no, risk is not the right word. Risk is not the word I should have used. You are right.
FCE heading into the Dongo's Cavern, which does make sense. It's a valid location for the hammer.
Yeah, you're gonna want to look for a place that's hammerlocked before you just go look for that Rudo's Lair somewhere, anywhere in the world. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we know that WeightyWords is now making the climb to Ganon's castle.
The other thing is, if you don't do Dodongo's Cavern now, when are you ever going to do that?
That's the neat part, you don't.
The other option for FC here that I can definitely see him doing after Dodongo's Cavern is going into Fire Temple. It's going to be a short trip.
Slingshot, yeah. We have a visually laid to rest some lizards. And slain some Stalfos.
Just waiting to hear the verb. You gonna go for a verb that starts with K or starts with N?
We have interred some iron knuckles.
That's a stretch, but I'll accept it.
Come on! How is that a stretch? Both words start with I.
Yeah, one starts I, one starts I.
Come on. Chat, you be the judge. Was that a valid alliteration? Validation? I'm out of here.
It's okay, we don't have to stay here much longer. As we are heading into the final boss fights. A rare side-by-side, Salt and Pepper and on one side, Katie on the other. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it isn't
Not gonna
something you
disagree
see
with
that
that.
often.
Yeah, that is not a pairing on screen that you see often. Whoops. I'll be right back, so you keep him company.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. What I will say is that I appreciate WeightyWords having the correct loadout. You put the bow on C left, the bottle on C down, the hammer on C right. It is the only correct layout. And I was going to ask in chat how you lay out your items, but it isn't a discussion. Mine's just correct. And, as expected, FC's heading into Fire Temple. It's going to be a short trip. And probably isn't going to enjoy seeing that slingshot.
With you.
What, the layout? I know,
Yes.
it's just correct.
It is just correct.
FC, fingers crossed, hoping and praying it's not the hammer here.
That took him a moment to think about.
Yeah, the pause of thinking, where do I go now? And is going in the correct direction. No, not going in the correct direction. Unfortunately, there were only two directions left, and
Where do we
this
go
is
now?
not the
Where
right
do we
one.
go now? The answer is sadly not into Forest Temple. That is not the right choice.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't think there was anything else in Lost Woods.
the thing is this. Every single choice that FC made during the seed is highly defensible. It just didn't happen not to be the correct one.
Yeah.
Didn't happen to be the correct one.
Yeah, you can make the point that not checking if Spirit Temple was hook locked was a mistake, but knowing where Mirror Shield is, I can fully see putting off Spirit Temple until you picked up 20 skulls. And not having a hook shot just means 20 skulls is going to be quite deep. And that is Weighty Words finished. I have misplaced the race room, so I don't have
The
the
official time is 2:13:37, and FC basically immediately forfeited.
Yeah. I get the feeling FC, seeing where those other items are, might have been waiting for the finish.
Well, I'll say that FC's first words after Weighty finished and he forfeited were not GG, they were thank God, and then GG. So yeah.
I can see that. It always feels exactly that way when you pick up your first hook shot that late, especially when it's in a place you know you could have gone. As soon as that happens, you immediately assume that your opponent went there very first and is, 10 minutes from done.
Yeah, it's not a great feeling. What is a great feeling is finishing a seed that certainly had some logical quirks in a little over 2 hours. GG, weighty words.
Thank you, GG's.
How do you feel about this seed?
It was pretty good. Yeah. I'm just I'm just really lucky that I dipped fire early for that slingshot. It actually came in handy. I was super surprised.
Yeah, that was one of the difference makers there. Welcome in, FC.
Hi.
GG's.
Hey,
GG.
GG's.
Yeah.
Yes, as you were saying, Weighty, it was one of the difference makers. You peeking into fire early and picking up that slingshot, as I believe it was Training Ground you got yours out of, FC.
Sorry? I didn't.
The slingshot, sorry.
Yeah.
Did you get? Was
my
it Training Ground you got yours out?
Yes, in GG. Yes, I guess. Yes.
Okay.
First slingshot in GG, yes.
Yeah, the last
It's
one
one of the
was in
ones that we forgot
Shadow.
to note down where it was.
Where was Hammer?
Hammer was in ice.
Oh, okay. And Ruto's letter was...
the hammer.
Ruto's letter was on slingshot. Was on target in the woods.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And so light arrow.
Yep.
Yeah, light arrow was in ice as well. Just
right
across
next
the
to
hall
okay.
from
Light arrows are.
From...
Okay.
Same room.
Yeah. Okay. I lost many time because with my time of day, I can't check market at night. So get my bomb bag
Oh yeah.
very, 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 very late.
Those were the two.
Just after DC adult, and I go back child, I found my bomb bag. So I was a little bit salt, but
The chat appreciated seeing childhood Ongus Karen.
That's awesome.
And I haven't.
But yeah, as you noted, those are the two real difference makers in the seed. The Weighty, you picking up the slingshot and you routing your child one to end with both day and night market. That was the real difference maker, I'd say.
Yeah, that
Okay.
that worked out really well. Because yeah, both of them, the day market and night market had something. So
Yeah. And without a Samsung, have fun. No prelude, no Samsung.
yeah, no prelude, no sun song. The spawn
No
was not
Faro.
there. Yeah. I went to Ganon's castle to set time of day like multiple times that seed.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, but I did one time for Market at Night, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
went
yeah.
back and got the lens and I did the treasure chest game too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And your first
So,
hook shot was in Spirit too?
Spirit, yep. I didn't find the other one.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
So,
okay.
Weighty, you were by quite a margin. You picked up 20 skulls first. So at what point were you aiming to pick up the mirror shield before heading into Spirit, looking for the hook shot?
Yeah, that's exactly. I figured like either hookshot was somewhere dumb or it could be in Spirit. Like it could have been in like Adult Lake or some Child Lake or something like that, and
Yeah,
I just figured, it might be in Spirit. Maybe just get the 20 skulls and just do it in one go.
yeah,
But
it
yeah,
makes sense.
it wasn't even especially considering it might have been mirror shield locked too. So
Yeah, it also means you can clear the entire thing in one go rather
yeah,
than double dipping.
exactly. Yeah.
It was just unfortunate for you, FC, that you cleared up pretty much every other dungeon that you could double dip before heading into Spirit. It's valid choices to try out Shadow and Training Grounds, just unfortunately didn't pay out this time.
Yeah, yeah, because we got Magic and Engines very, very early. Over was pretty free, I guess. Yes, it was in Deku. So, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I don't want to rush 20 skull without hookshot, without a boomerang, so I guess it's okay. It's just for my shield. I will find my hookshot and I will keep going to pick a skull, but the hookshot was in Spirit, so yeah. Bad
yeah,
decision.
20 skulls isn't a bad check, but it is when you don't have either hook or boomerang.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah, and without Samsung, it's very yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
Well,
miscounted my
Um,
skulls. I thought I had 20, but I had 19. So I had to find one random skull as an adult.
I did think at first I saw you had 19, and of course, when you're one skull away, my immediate thought was, oh, you'll just get the one in adult Kakariko.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I like turned adult and I saw that I only had 19. And I'm like, wait, I can't. What can I get without the hook shot? So I ended up
yeah.
going to that DMT one.
Yeah, every single emergency skull I immediately thought of in my head was just, okay, field, no, that's hook locked. CAC, no, that's hook locked.
Yeah.
Cab, no, hook locked.
Yep. That was basically the one that I was worried about as well. Just oh wait, okay, we're at 18 skulls. You just go and get one more, and then the canonical last skull is wait, not in Kakariko.
Exactly.
um, but yeah, that was the seed. I think two major decision points. Just um, time of day routing to get that bomb back early. Happening into so Weighty, what made you decide to head into Fire Temple? I was kind of confused about that choice in your early routing. Obviously, it paid
Well,
off, but what was the
yeah.
plan here?
when it's like super early into the seed and I have Bolero, I just usually like dipping in there for the first check because like that chest has been something a lot of times, and so I was gonna Nocturne anyways after Bolero. So I mean like just taking like a minute to just dip that one check that can just to be thorough because that check is in logic with just Bolero. So I just did it before Nocturning and. Yeah, this time it paid off.
Yeah.
Usually it doesn't, but those few seeds, it does sometimes.
Yeah, it's a chest you need to do, and when you have Bolero, the time you're losing is the time it takes you to walk from the Bolero pad into fire, which is, sort of
Yeah,
20
and then you
seconds.
have to walk back to the main room to do the bottom floor anyways, so it's not super. You're
Yeah.
not losing too much time.
I played enough Triforce Blitz to know to dip that one every time as well. Burned me so many times.
Yeah.
Oh, in my Valley Baron. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was also helpful.
Uh,
Obviously,
yes,
finding
but
that hint
it,
as well after you have already done Valley, because of course.
Oh.
yes,
Yeah, that's going in my S8 feedback, just so you know, Tobias.
I did Valley
Random child spawn.
for my time of day. I want to keep the reset day with the Requiem, even if I've been late. So okay, I will do Valley into Lac. So after Lac, I will be early day, so it's fine. But go to market
Yeah.
and see Valley Baron. Yeah, thank you.
Helpful.
I was after I did market, both day and night market, I was fully expecting you know, some like Lost Woods Baron or something that I've already done. But, it worked out. Like
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like to check that those foolishness early, and that makes sense. It's just I just feel like sometimes just doing things around you, because most of the time you won't get burned by that, but sometimes you
I,
do, and
I
it
see what
is
you're meaning,
frustrating with a
but
child start.
I see what you're meaning, but I was surprised that you didn't check the hints before doing market.
Yeah,
That's my
I
classic move of doing
yeah
market and then finding
yeah,
market
yeah,
foolish.
yeah. I mean, once I found the lift upgrade, the strength upgrade, I was like, okay, this is fine.
Aye.
But yeah, but yes, I have had clearing market, finding market foolish, being like, oh. I think the Lost Woods foolish is like the most punishing, because like if you spawn near Lost Woods as child and then like you want to do Ocarina mini game, which takes a while, you want to like collect rupees for that scrub, but like if it's foolish, you're just wasting so much time.
At least if you're spawning there, it means you're not spending time on the, you know, target in the woods or the bomb checks, or
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
at least you're only hitting two of them. The two slowest ones, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat.
yeah, not seeing any questions in the chat. I would just like to say thank you, obviously, for putting on a heck of a show for us today. That was a seed that really hinged on finding a few out of the way locations early. And the great thing was just watching both of you. Every single decision you made with the knowledge you had was entirely defensible and reasonable. Just it seems like one got luckier than the other. That being said, both of you are now 1-1, one win, one loss.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, it's the group's turning out to be interesting. Yeah.
Yep. So, WeightyWords, you still have Credios to face. FCS, you are still up against Inca Cola. I wish
Yes,
you the best of luck with with those matches.
Thank you.
thank you.
And thanks for the restream. I appreciate
Yeah,
everybody, coming together for this.
Very, very welcome. And thank you also to Green Pepper CH, who already raided over here for the French restream. I hope you folks had fun as well. And yeah, thank you to everyone who made this restream possible. Our runners, WeightyWords and FcS, who every time they agree to restream, forego chat interaction for their race. So thank you for that. And do give them a follow and go watch them later on, because they did